All right. Welcome to the final episode of season 1 of the Journeyman podcast with your main man, Journeyman Reese. And today I got with me my boy,
Luther Harris.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First of all, let me apologize to, first time, last time listeners, and people that just been rocking with me from the beginning. Listen, this last episode was hard to come up with because I just had writer's block. I'm not going to lie to you, I still have it. So this episode is not in depth how I wanted it to be. But you know what? I think that's good, right? Because to me, that might be a sign that it doesn't need to be. But we just going to jump right into it. So Luther, man, how you doing?
Brother, I'm doing absolutely fantastic this evening.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm gonna be better after we record this.
I feel that.
Yeah.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. Y'all, look. Hey, it's been a fun day at the office. I say that, y'all. It's been a fun day at the office, no cap.
Off the record.
Off the record. You know what I'm saying? Look. Hey, look, he really just dropped the bomb on you. You don't even know. You don't even know what's coming. You don't even know what's coming. Oh my God. Yo. So today, man, we're gonna get into some self-love. We're gonna get into validation. And we're gonna get into fearing no one's opinion. I thought these were 3 important things to just kind of ride with in the summer. You know what I mean? That we all should explore. I don't really have a specific order. Where do you want to start?
Well, shoot. The first thing that comes to mind and what I've recently been thinking about is, I guess, not caring about what people think. That was one of the topics, correct?
Okay, yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, one of those. We can start with that one.
Okay.
And then move our way, I guess, deeper into the rabbit hole.
Okay, so let's look at the definition of that. To be unconcerned with others' input upon your actions or thought process. That's not in no dictionary anyway. I really just made that up.
Don't go looking for that.
Yeah, do not go looking for that. But look, check me out. It's funny that you said you've been playing with that idea because I felt like that was like one of the main themes of the month for me. Really just doing what I wanted to do and not caring what others thought of me. Which kind of ties in with validation, right? Like, why would you want to validate yourself by somebody else's opinion and not your own? And it's crazy because I was really just sitting there and thinking about how many times somebody's opinion or maybe somebody's perception of me that was not even 100% accurate stopped me from doing something that I wanted to do. Now, I can't tell you if that's good or bad, because not everything that I want to do is just necessarily good. Like, right? You know what I'm saying? There's good and evil in this world. And I wouldn't say I'm an evil person, but like, right? Everybody comes in life facing like good choices, bad choices, right? And sometimes we make the bad ones on purpose. Don't know why, but if y'all doing that, y'all should stop that to an extent.
I don't know if that one requires it to an extent.
Listen.
I think the line for evil is pretty clear.
Is it though?
It's just semantics at that point, right? If we continue.
Yeah. Let's stay on track. Anyway, so tell me, bro, what experiences have you had fearing no one's opinion?
Well, in the short term, after if you listen to the episode I was in last time, in the short term, I guess what I've been dealing with as far as that is getting back on track academically. I had left, completely withdrew because of the sole reason of I didn't really care what people thought. and stuff going on and stuff like that. So
Understandable.
that's been the, I guess, the primary focus now is kind of figuring out, I guess, what is it that I actually care about. What are my sights on for me, you know?
Yeah.
Because when you care about what other people think, it's like you do what they think too. It's not just you please them, but you also move about life in a way that pleases them too. And it's not like in a way that, oh yeah, let me get them an extra cup of coffee when I show up, or let me shower them with gifts. It's like, no, there's some other metaphysical components to that. You know, you make life-changing decisions based off other people's perceptions and thoughts.
Literally.
You know, a case can be made that people only attend college because of other people's perceptions and thoughts, right?
Yeah, to an extent, I would say that. I personally would chuck that up too. Is just because college, in some aspects, is very much a safety blanket. If you don't know what you want to do, you go to college.
And that's unfortunate because that should not be the case. At
very
least
true.
financially.
Financially, yeah.
It's not. Why would, like, when you step back and you look at the balance sheet on that and where it's located, I mean, it's a debt, you know, that you can't even file bankruptcy on, right? You owe that to the government.
Yeah, that's true.
And you know, the government collects.
Yeah, Uncle Sam don't play about it. Yeah, he gonna press you. That's some pressure for real. Man, I would even say, like college, man, let me say this. It just needs to be refocused.
Definitely. And it's interesting you say refocus, because you said college was security and that it's a stopgap in a sense where if you don't know what you're going to do, go to college. That needs to change.
That's true.
If you don't know what you want to do, you probably need to experience. Check that. You need to experience more to figure out what you want to do, right?
That is true.
Whether that's going a different route or avenue, whether that's traveling or whether that is working another menial job that you're currently working at for some endeavor that you found worthwhile pursuing, or if that's going to a trade school and doing something else, like pursue those avenues, because at least you know that you find those interesting.
Yeah.
Versus this perception of, oh yeah, this is what people normally do when they're not sure. Like, nah, that's a cop out. Why would you do that?
I mean, let me say this, because it's like even kill, right? In the sense that a lot of people don't know what they want to do and they go to college, but I say refocused in the sense of for the kids that do, because let me say this, whether you do or don't, and I think it'll tie in with what you're saying, college should be to where it's like the basics, get rid of those. And the reason why I say get rid of the basics, for the simple fact is because I spent 12 years. I mean, if you want to include pre-K, 13? Or actually, excuse me, that'd be 14 because I forgot kindergarten. Right, so 14 years learning basic math, reading, writing, things of that nature. Now, not all educations are equal because, like, right, there are some schools that are just definitely lacking because of funding, where they're placed at, things that environmental racism, that plays a factor into that too. But I just feel like, right, okay, I came into college thinking that I wanted to be on ESPN. That you couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was gonna be the next Stephen A. Smith. You could not tell me nothing. Literally, I was gonna get up there and act a fool. Like, people think Shannon Sharp is bad. You don't listen. Don't nobody want to see me cap for D Rose. That's how he loves LeBron James. That's how much I love Derrick Rose. Like, true story.
Or how Skip Bayless loves the Cowboys.
Or how Skip Bayless loves Kawhi Leonard.
Or how Shannon Sharp loves LeBron.
Yeah, like, very, very weird things, bro. Like, very. I mean, at least like Shannon is funny, but like he actually explained it. Like,
Yeah.
but Skip,
Skip the drip.
bro. First of all, Skip Bayless is probably one of the most disrespectful analysts, bro.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I'd say Stephen A. Smith is definitely far more disrespectful.
Do you? Because let me say this.
Stephen A. Smith be showing up on the show saying some blasphemous stuff.
But he actually has facts tied to it.
Does he though?
Let me say this. The Stephen A. clips that I see, which is a vast array of them, there's only a few times where I kind of disagree with Stephen A. Right? Now, when he comments on things, now I think what you're referring to is his comments on things besides the game, like, okay, with Kyrie's absence, like when Kyrie, took that absence, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be honest with you. If we're talking sports, I don't care about that. Unless you're going to tie it into how it affects the team. Whatever his personal reasons are, I don't care. A lot of people don't want to talk about how Buddy was averaging 30 from after that break. So if taking care of your mental health or doing whatever you do in your absence helps you come back even better, by all means, I think everybody should do it to an extent. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. I think with Skip Bayless, here's the reason why.
How does this tie into our topic? I'm just curious.
This is off the record.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so look. Skip said that Steph Curry wasn't even in his top 20, but yet he had James Harden in there who has not won anything. Just one of the greatest shooters of all time. Not even the greatest shooter of all time. I don't know. Yeah, listen. Buddy has a serious case for MVP this year. If the Warriors make the playoffs, and if they make the playoffs, it's wraps. He's definitely the MVP. No question. No question. But I don't know. I don't know how you can make that. I don't know how you can get on national TV and just say that. But either way, that's neither here nor there.
That's what he believes.
He's a prime example of fearing nobody's opinion. Because he don't give a damn.
Oh, he really doesn't.
He does not. He does not.
And I respect that about him.
I do. Let me say this. At least any claim that he'll make, he will stand his ground. A lot of them do. You kind of got to do that. You know what I'm saying? You make that bed, you lay in it. But fearing no one's opinion. I think as people, right? And it's kind of hard because you learn it later in life, which I feel like that's the problem, right? We don't push this narrative enough.
What narrative?
The narrative that you really shouldn't care what other people think about you. Like we do. Like, right, we'll put it in a cartoon. We'll put it in a movie here and there. But it's like we give them a fairy tale ending. Where's the integrity? The reality is sometimes fearing nobody's opinion, you stay true to yourself, but you can get hemmed up. But you have to be prepared what comes with that. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, do you feel like that's an issue on society, or is that an issue that needs to be handled, I guess, interpersonally within a family home? Because I feel like that's a big problem as far as, for society to take on. And granted, I guess you could say, like, I'd love to see a commercial where someone's like, don't care what people think, right?
I mean, nah.
So what do you think?
My thing,
burden of responsibility, where does it fall, in your opinion? Come on now. The Journeyman.
Definitely with the parents.
So the family?
Family. Because the reality is society ain't just going to change up like that overnight.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if we motivate this new generation that is up and coming and everything like that, I think we can just blast off.
Where?
Blast off in the sense of just...
You mean like creatively, like productively?
Creatively, productively, creatively. Let me not say productively.
You feel like creative does have... creative is not really efficient. So,
That's what I'm saying. Productively, Because it's like, right, if you don't care about nobody's opinion, somebody could take that and run with it. I don't have to go to work today. I'm not a bum because I missed work 5 times in a row. And you're not necessarily a bum because you missed work 5 days in a row. But, damn, buddy, that's what it might lead to. Like, you got to show up to work, bro.
Can't give people too much freedom.
Yeah, like, you got to have some type of income coming in. And unless you just starting up a company of your own that's something that's certified money, even then, got to go to trade school. So then what, you ain't going to class? You know what I mean? Like, damn, like, if we not, you know what I'm saying? You trying to be an electrician, have your own, like, electrician, like, repairman company, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or electric repair company. How you gonna work on, like, what is it? My
wires, I guess?
Yeah, my wires. But you decided you wanted to skip class.
On wires.
Yeah, because old girl just called you up and said, school's boring. Come hang out with me today.
I need to turn my lights on.
Yeah, like, bro. Like,
fix
what?
my wire.
Yeah, like, bro. You feel me? Like, you can't do that.
It's almost worse than a plumber analogy.
Yeah, or it's like, yo. We gonna stay off that, bro.
Okay, we can keep going.
I was about to say my little sister definitely be listening to me. Like, she ain't gonna understand that, but like, yo, I don't just want.
I feel that.
Yeah, I don't want to put my dad in the hot seat and he got to explain that for like that.
You don't want to expedite the process of a conversation taking place. Yeah.
But nah, man, I'm just saying, like,
where were we?
We're fearing nobody's opinion.
Oh.
And I just feel like, bro, we should push that narrative a little bit more to kids. Now, that doesn't mean have like a disregard for society and rules and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying it's like this. We should keep it at a fundamental level. But as far as how you dress, how you present yourself, that's on you. If you want to be big, be big. You know what I mean? That's on you. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying, yo, disregard all health stuff and stuff like that. I mean, come on. I'm an avid gym goer. So are you. But listen, if somebody doesn't want to go to the gym, why we keep pushing that to them? I'm going to let you do what you do. Because obviously, fam, life has been going on before you and I, right? Can we say that?
We can.
Okay. So if you become obese, you know the outcome, right? But you're not obese, right?
I choose not to be.
Right. It's a choice. It's a choice. Everybody has a choice, and we got to learn how to respect that. You know what I mean? To an extent.
Except when it infringes on others.
Yeah, because it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, bro. Like, I think, you know what, better yet, let me say this. Because I think this is what I'm getting at. We should stop pushing messages to people the messages that don't necessarily matter. Like, right, just because you're in shape and you're healthy, does that make you a better human being? Not necessarily. You're just a disciplined human being when it comes to you.
Right.
How does that transfer to me or to the next person? I'd rather we push like messages of, you know, let's stop discrimination. Let's stop being racist. Let's be okay with having the conversation about race. Or, you know what I'm saying? Let's stop judging people's religion. Let's stop trying to infringe our religion on others. Just because somebody doesn't believe something that's the same as you does not make them a bad person. Or doesn't make it like you can't be friends with that person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, to an extent, like, are there some gray areas and some lines within that? To an extent, because you believe in what you believe in, but it's like you have to navigate that personally. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it's like people will try to overarch the conversation and try to push that on everybody.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, not everybody agrees. You know what I mean? And it's like, right, that's a lesson that I feel like we all learning. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it that can be solved with one of the lessons of Buddhism.
What is it?
Detachment.
Detachment?
Yeah.
You really pushing that, bro. Bro.
If I can convert just one person.
Just one person?
Just one person. And I know you just said, like, not to, I guess, peddle religion on other people. But keep in mind, Buddhism is not a religion. It's a way of life. So, detachment.
I feel like everybody can say that about their like,
no,
their belief system. Yeah, think about it.
Catholicism is definitely a religion, bona fide.
Is it though?
There's no.
Somebody could easily say that is a way of life, because it's like it's not
Buddhism. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, because like they could see it just like how you see it. It's not necessarily a religion. Like, right, there's no structure because, right, in Catholicism, like, God is forgiving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, the Bible tells you how to navigate life and things of that, but also God gives you free will because he wants genuine love. He doesn't want the fake love. So genuinely, like, right, being loving towards God, towards yourself, towards others is a natural way of life. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody could easily make that case for it.
Let me give you some background.
Okay.
You know, back in the day, I used to be a hardcore atheist.
For real?
Hardcore. You couldn't tell me nothing. I used to look at the world very binary, very black and white.
Really?
Yes. Then I was, quote unquote, woke, right? I shifted from atheism to agnostic.
What is that?
It's just you just believe that there's a superior being, right? You believe that there is a creator of the world or the universe, however you want to say, but you just don't know who, right?
Uh-huh.
So it still subscribes to that, I guess, ideology.
Uh-huh.
Then I won't say I become enlightened, but then I opened my third eye.
Okay. I'm dead.
And I was like, oh. The thoughts and the rationale of there being even a creator is inconsequential to me.
Mm.
It's inconsequential. It doesn't matter because all that matters right now is this very moment.
Mm.
What am I going to do? What's before me? Because, you know, who's to say I even meet this creator, right?
Mm.
How do I know there is one? So there's a lot of degrees of uncertainty, and that's kind of another thing that Buddhism and some of the Eastern philosophy and Eastern philosophers also harp on is, you know, being attached to an ideology in and of itself like Buddhism, but at the same time being able to admit that you may not know or you are willing to step back from that ideology is also one of the things that Buddhism teaches with that detachment is always leaving that area of ambiguity. So I guess I don't know if that really answers the question.
Okay. Well, no. Okay. So let me tie it back into what we're talking about, and then we'll move on to validation and self-love.
Oh goodness.
All right.
Validation and religion. That's definitely a thing.
So check this out.
Okay.
Okay. So it sounds like, man, your spiritual path has been very, I don't want to say radical, but it's been very free in the sense of that. How has that prepared you, or let me say this, prompted the notion of not caring about anybody's opinion anymore?
Oh, that's a loaded question. That's a big question. I guess it's really propelled or propped up the belief in not caring about other people's opinion is because, you know, people like to say, oh, free thinker, right? Oh, I'm a free thinker because I can think outside the box, or, oh, I can do this because nobody else can.
Right.
But what I've noticed is, like, when you really don't care about what people think, you really realize you really don't care about what you think of yourself in a way. Like, you'll let things happen in the world, and as they happen, they happen. You know? You sort of, for lack of a better word, feel indifferent to what life has to, like, not offer, but what life happens to you or how life happened to you.
Mm.
And you look at it and you take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the best way that I can describe it as far as a story that I've witnessed is this. Maybe I said this in the last one too, but there was this Zen master, and one of his students gifted him a mug, and the master looked at the mug, and every day he was, appreciative and grateful for it. And he realized when he took the mug, he said to himself in the story, he said to himself that this is already broken, right?
Really?
He says this is already broken. And so he goes on every day just, using the mug, very thankful. He not brags about it, but he shows it to people that come visit him at his monastery and, really showing this mug because he treasures it because it's from a former student.
Yeah.
And then finally one day he drops it.
Mm.
And he looks at it in the story, pauses, looks at it, and he's like, let us begin. And when I picture that story, I'm like, he already knew it was broken when he got it. Like, it wasn't physically broken. It was a, great mug, right?
Yeah.
But he acknowledged the fact that this is already broken as far as it will be broken, right? And then it broke, and he wasn't in tears, or he wasn't like, oh, dang, like, oh, man, I really liked that mug. Like, that was a gift from a student. Oh, man, that's my fault. My bad. Like,
right.
That wasn't his reaction. It was, it was already broken. Like, and that's how I kind of look at life, right?
Mm.
Is there certain things in my life that are already going to go? They're already gone, right? Like, we acknowledged earlier that life was before us, and, I don't want to sound too morbid, but life will continue after us,
Well, I mean, that's a fact. I don't think you're being morbid.
Well, yeah, well, some people will be like, oh, if I die. Like, no, it's not if, it's when, right?
Yeah, very true.
So it's kind of like acknowledging that certain things in life are going to happen, and it's not, what are you going to do about it? It's kind of like, well, how are you going to interpret it? How are you going to take it?
Okay.
Are you going to take it like the monk that already acknowledged that when he received his gift, it was already broken?
Mm.
Like, or are you going to be distraught when things come your way and that mug breaks and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it? Or are you going to cry? Like, what do you, like genuinely, what is your reaction to it? And I think when you really don't care about what people think, you look at it like the monk did the mug. When life happens or when something breaks in your life, you recognize it and you're just like, let us begin. Like, now it's time to continue. In his case, it was his time to sweep up the broken pieces of the mug and throw it away, right? In your case, it might be, I don't know, reconcile a relationship or pursue something else. I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I think that's definitely a step, in my opinion.
Okay. So, I mean, last question. Based off that, what would you, if you could give a small tidbit for advice, try to condense it down to somebody that's just very fixated on others' opinion? What is a piece of advice that you would lend to an individual like that?
I wouldn't say it'd be a piece of advice. I would just ask a question like, I'd ask a couple of questions, maybe a few questions. Like, first and foremost, what do you see?
Mm.
And then what do you see from them that you feel like you see too?
Mm.
Because a lot of people say life is just a perception, right? It's not. There's a saying I saw on YouTube by Jay Shetty. I'm pretty sure it's from someone else maybe.
Uh-huh.
But it's like I'm not who you think I am. You're not who I think I am. I'm who you think I am. And so
that's a tongue twister.
Yeah. And so I'd probably try to ascertain as to, what is it that they see that they feel like the other person sees that you feel like you also see. Because I feel like that's where the alignment is.
Yeah.
And there may be a disconnect in between, what you see and what they see, and then what you feel like they see in you. Because I feel like those disconnections are what really causes anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, those are where those pressures come from people.
Uh-huh.
Because then that's also where you're acting on other people's ideals that aren't your own.
Ah.
Right. And if that's the case, you know, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because that's undue stress, that's undue anxiety, that's a lot of unnecessary turmoil.
Something you wasn't meant to carry.
Yeah.
Okay.
All because of this perception of a perception. And so I would just try to really ask questions as to, you know, well, what do you really want? You know, what do you really see for yourself? Like,
understandable.
If you had no parents, but you still have all the knowledge you have, what would you do? Like, what would you really do with your time? You know, would you really be, you know, going to that job, you know, or would you really be trying to work and go somewhere else? You know, in our case, it'd be like, do we really want to finish this degree?
Yeah.
Or is it like,
I feel that.
are we finishing it only because we were told to go, and now we're so far along that we can't do something, we can't just quit? I mean, that's how I'm feeling.
I feel like
my part,
it's just like, for me, it's just like, I know the degree's just gonna open a lot of doors.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like, it's sad that a piece of paper kind of does that. Now, granted, you do need a degree because it also tells you that you know what you're talking about. Because, like, listen, if I got a company and I'm about to hire somebody new, I definitely hope you know what you're talking about. If you're gonna be helping me out trying to expand or whatever.
Definitely.
But I mean, it's just tough. You know what I mean? And then plus, it's like, it's kind of like I already spent the money. Like I need to do that. So there's that.
Well, you know, there's one thing I know one thing my accounting classes have taught me. It's like, yo, if you've already spent the money, it's a sunk cost. And then we're like, well, what is a sunk cost? It's money you've already spent. And they're like, well, if it's a sunk cost, then why are you making a decision based off of sunk cost?
Yeah, you already spent it. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Just a business analogy. For those of you that, I don't know, are thinking about a business and you're like, oh, well, I already spent this much money on marketing. Maybe I should spend more. Like, nah, you already spent it. And if it's not helping you, you probably don't need to keep spending it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. Well, thank you for sharing, brother. That was, like I said, I learned about you every time we get on the mic. Yeah. Yo. He dropped a couple of bombs. I was like, all right. No, but that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. I like that. I like that diversity, bro. It's like, because I feel like, man, for me, like, which is like validation. We're about to get in that, so hopefully I can segue this correctly. I feel like one way I validate myself is that I'm able to stay me and be around a different bunch of characters and not necessarily get influenced.
Is that validation, though, or is that integrity?
Could be both. Because, I mean, like it is, integrity could be validation for somebody. Standing on, as they was like, I'm 10 toes down, that means the world to some people. And sometimes, bro, and I mean, we could have a conversation next season about how sometimes being 10 toes down behind somebody or behind something that's not necessarily like in your favor is very dangerous. But it's neither him nor there.
I couldn't relate to that. I'm not 10 toes down about anything.
You don't think so?
I mean, maybe about Buddhism.
I mean, but like, yo, but
I won't die behind it.
I mean, like, yo, like, okay, so like you got a sister, so like, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you not 10 toes down behind your sisters? I feel like you are.
Okay, maybe
10 toes down because it's like, bro, you just stand on top of it. Like you know what I mean? Like, I really rock with this. Or like 10 toes down, like behind me. Like, I really rock with me. And it's like, yes, I'm open to opinions. I'm open to experiences. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to me if I want to integrate those things.
So explain to me what 10 toes down means then.
10 toes down, bro. It's just like, it can mean anything.
Oh,
it's one of the it's slang, first of all. So slang is very just like multi-purpose. Right? So 10 toes down, like I'm really out here. Like I'm solid. You know? Like, or before a fight, like, nigga, I'm 10 toes down. Like
rooted.
Yeah, like Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that means, like, bro, I'm not moving. You gonna have to come move me. You know what I mean? However that may be. Bro, 10 toes down can mean a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So, however you want to. I mean, we can look it up in Urban Dictionary after this.
I'm good. I probably won't use that. Well, actually, I might.
Oh, yeah. You just be like that for real. You know what I'm saying? But validation, man. Recognition or affirmation that a person recognition or affirmation that a person of their feeling. No, see, I feel like I wrote that wrong. Excuse me. It's recognition or affirmation of somebody's feelings or opinions. Or recognition or affirmation that a person's like feelings or opinions are valid or worthwhile. I'm really confused of how I wrote that. Oh. Doesn't matter. Anyways, so validated, right? Or validation. What gives you validation?
I mean,
Be real.
validation?
Yeah. What gives you validation? What lets you know that I mean something?
I wouldn't use the word validation.
What gives you recognition?
I wouldn't say recognition. I mean, I'd probably say, maybe reassurance, confirmation.
But okay, my thing about it is this. What gives you that what helps you create that concept of you that you already know? Because reassurance, right? You just confirming something that's already there. How did you get to that there? You know what I mean? What for you validated you?
I wouldn't say validation, but I would just say, the experience.
The experience?
Yeah, experiences I've went through have led me to where I am.
Okay.
And will continue to lead me to wherever I go.
So, your experiences are some of you, would you say?
Some of me?
Like,
I'd say a part.
A part?
But, I mean, they're easily dismissible.
Are they, though?
Yeah, because come on, man, I'm Mr. Detachable. I'm practically go gadget over here. Like,
but at the same time, it's like, I know we're talking about, I know you are very big on detachment, but it's like, all the experiences, right? Because, like, right, wouldn't it be fair to say that some experiences led you to Buddhism, which led you to disattachment? So could you really just throw that away?
So,
because that's
you have to be able to, because in a sense, a lot of teachings in Buddhism and Eastern philosophy is essentially, taking the good with the bad, taking the front hand with the back hand, and then, it's like becoming watery, like being very adaptable and malleable in certain situations, and whatever situation you find yourself in, you may be a different version of yourself, right? So, like, I perfectly agree that if I were put somewhere else, like, I'd adapt. I'd have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say that, some people get so caught up in the who and the me, which we talked about last time, is like, if I was in a different situation and I go to another situation,
yeah,
I'm not going to be the same person.
Yeah.
Some characteristics are going to have to burn off. I'm going to have to become a different person. Like, and that's cool. A lot of people get bent out of shape over, well, I don't want to, this is me. The people, like I mentioned last time, the people who really felt strongly about something, like, and they were like, this is me. This is I. Like, these self-identifications or validations, like you want to say, and, they become self-fulfilling prophecies. And I don't want to identify or say that, this is me because, well, one, I don't know who I am, right? I know what I will do in a situation.
So I'm confused because it's kind of contradictory because it's like
that's the point.
Yeah, well, yo, because I was like,
you're a Buddhist now.
Like, yo, you said like, nah, like I know who I am, but then at the same time I don't know who I am because like that's what you was kind of implying when I was asking about validation. So I mean, okay, well maybe let's refer to a previous you.
You've entered the beginning course of Buddhism.
Look, I'm good.
Well, why?
Listen. Because let me say this. Just how like Buddhism has done things for you that is like you could try to explain, but you just really can't get it across to other people. That's how I feel like God is for me.
Perfectly understandable.
Like so that's just what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's so many situations in my life that fam, like, to be honest, I shouldn't be sitting here. I shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like through his grace, through his love, like, yo, I'm here. And so then thus, like, he has a will on my life. He has a purpose for my life. Do I know what that is necessarily? No. But you know, like through the Bible, it tells us what we can do for God's known will. You know what I'm saying? How you interact with other people, how you carry yourself, things of that nature. And then once you fall in line with the known, the unknown will come. So it's kind of like, because like, right, you can't really just go up and ask him specific things because it's like you can. But does that mean he's going to necessarily reveal that to you? Because there's parts of you that might not be ready for that. Thus, that's why you got to go through certain things that you go through so you can really appreciate what he has lined up for you.
Right.
Because, okay, check this out. Prime example. A lot of people don't know, but I got my first car at 20, getting ready to turn 21. Got my license at 21, right? I always was able to drive, but I was like nervous. Real nervous Nancy behind the wheel. Now if you see me drive, like, you be like, damn, bro, you know, I be whipping that thing.
Slow down.
With that being said, I'm telling you this, had 16 or 17-year-old Journeyman had got a car, I would have been doing the fool. I would have been making, bro. I could, listen, because I, like this, you know me personally, I like to plan. I had so many plays set up in my head, you don't understand. I was like, I'm going to say this. I already know what she going to say. This. If I had a car, I would have been a whole bandit. A whole bandit. To an extent. I say that, but it's like my mother's teachings are within me. Like, I definitely withhold myself from a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And it served me a lot of good.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I would keep with that. But would I definitely make some plays? Yes, sir. And who's to say like that would have been a good play or a bad play? You know what I mean? Once I finally got my car, bro, I really appreciated it. I keep it clean. I still try to keep it clean to the best of my ability. I don't have no trash in my car, but definitely need to vacuum. But I keep it clean. I definitely handled the maintenance on it. Like,
to get the oil change.
I check my tire pressure, my fluids, all of that. I got a box in the back of my trunk that has all my fluids for my specific type of car, things of that nature.
You change your own oil?
No, I want to learn though.
Oh, okay.
I want to learn eventually. I want to learn before I have kids. I feel like that would save me a lot of money.
That's what's up.
But other than that, that's just what it is. Like, you know, really, bro, your walk with God, bro, a lot of people don't realize it is a call to suffering. It's not nothing. It's beautiful and it's painful at the same time.
It has to be.
But yeah, it just has to be. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, think about it. Jesus, Son of God, did everything perfect under the sun. Literally. Every teaching, he was with that. Loving people unconditionally, he was with that. A lot of people don't know, bro. If you look it up geographically, bro, like Jesus was born in the hood. Born in the hood. He was with the robbers, the killers, the dealers, the scammers, whatever you want to call them. They was like, why are you with those people? Because he said, these are the people I want to bring most to God. Right? Real, true, just genuine love. And then, boom, God said, to free everybody from sin, brother, you got to die on the cross for me. You got to take that. You got to take that crucifixion. Is that the right word?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Crucified.
You got to get crucified. And he did it. He prayed about it. Him and God talked about it. And then he went and did it.
Yeah.
He knew one of his 12 disciples, who's been rocking with him for damn near the beginning, was going to switch up. He knew. Still love Brody anyways.
Yeah. It's interesting. Definitely.
So I don't know. That's just how it is.
Oh, well, religion and, Buddhism or whether it's another religion, like, we all come to the same conclusion and we all meet at the same point. We may banter about, oh, this one's better. Oh, this one might be more efficient. But at the end of the day, we all arrive at the same spot. There's actually a story where a follower of Christ had a conversation with a monk. Monk minded his business meditating, and then the follower of Christ joins him, and they have a conversation, and the follower of Christ is having a conversation with the monk, and he's sharing the very same things that you're sharing with me about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And the monk is like, sounds like a very, wise man. And then the follower of Christ says another thing about Jesus and his works. And then the monk proceeds to say, wow, sounds like a very enlightened being. And then says another thing about Jesus. And then the monk goes on to reiterate that, wow, that being must really have been equivalent to the Buddha, right? Which in Buddhism, that's basically, somebody who's, very compassionate and is not, it's basically what not every monk, but it's almost this equivalent to someone to strive to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone to replicate. And that story is profound to me in my eyes because it's, no matter the religion, whether your faith is founded upon or based upon, the ideology of a God, or whether your religion is based upon, the uncertainty of and living life in the present moment, we both arrive at the same conclusion as far as life, right? Both very compassionate individuals, care for one another, very loving. Like the characteristics that these people become are exactly the same, but went down two completely different journeys. You know what I mean? And I find that very, very interesting that, we get caught up over the little things, over the certain nuances. And
I feel like everybody should strive to be a good person, bro.
You think so?
I mean, because let me say it like this, bro. Pain, because when you do something sideways, it can alter a good person. And then thus you cause a chain reaction unbeknownst to you that turns somebody into a bad apple, and they become in that time span poisonous to everybody else that they may encounter. Right. And I don't think that's fair, because right, did that person really deserve that energy that you gave? Right? Or that action that you did.
Yeah, but life's not fair.
Life isn't fair. But you know what? Just because it isn't fair doesn't mean you have to be of that world, but be in the world.
Yeah, but who rectifies the situation? It's not the abuser, it's the abused. Who has to rectify and reconcile and go through, the entire process. I mean, and only that comes to fruition when someone's conscious enough, know.
But may I interject? But wouldn't you say, like, you would want the abuser So to
So
completely,
they need validation. We're
Well, I
looping this
mean-
back.
huh?
I said we're bringing it all together for validation.
I mean, not necessarily validation.
I need validation from my
I was
abuser.
gonna ask you, like, don't you think, like, the abuser, to avoid that whole situation, to strive to be a better person?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. If
I
he
mean,
was a
that's-
better
that's-
person,
and that's like, bro, that's really like just how, like, to
If-
look at it at a practical level. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
Because it's just like, bro, I know a lot of people a lot of good people that they did some sideways stuff, but it was after they got hurt.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And it's like you do some uncharacteristic things and then you become of the world when you really should be in the world. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just all I'm saying. But I digress, man. Where were we? Honestly, man, I really feel like these topics, they're not really the topics. It's just they're the guidelines. Because I really
Guidelines for what?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Because listen, like I said, everybody out there, I apologize for just not having this so
Organized?
not organized. But then I think also on the other hand, it's finally becoming a true podcast.
I mean, last time we just kind of did the same thing. I mean, it's not,
Exactly. But I mean, I think we had a line at least.
we don't have a line this time.
Uh
I mean, we did talk about sports.
yeah,
and-
we talk about sports. We talked about, well, like, we're heavy on religion right now. Like, yo, we're definitely in that religious
Well,
bag.
you can't have a conversation about validation without having religion. I
That's
mean,
true.
you know, in my eyes, I view God as a stepping stone, right?
Dude.
Yeah. But in other people's eyes who may follow a different religion, such as Catholicism, you
Mhm.
know, maybe validation is sought from, you know, God, or in the pursuit of at least trying to become Jesus. I mean, not become, but walk the path similar to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you kind of can't have, you know, conversations about validation and other concepts like that without bringing in kind of, well, where did these concepts, you know, root themselves? And, you know, by and large, they were rooted in stories. And where were the first stories created? It's kind of like, well, stories were first created for religion or in religion or have some tying to religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have some religious context to it or undertone, right? So I mean, you know, you can't really. It's kind of like, you know, you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. You kind of have to have both, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, shit. Oh, my lip just touched this.
You getting a little too intimate with the mic.
Man, unfortunately, God. Oh, man.
How'd it taste?
I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. But moving on, brother. I guess let's tie up validation because we really ain't touch on it. So validation, all right, man. The main question: how would you? Let me say this. What would you say to the individual
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
that seems to try to look for validation all in the wrong places? Where do you think
Well,
validation comes from?
Where does it come from? Well, I'd have to say, you know, if it's validation, it definitely comes from within.
Okay.
You know, it's definitely rooted within the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, it's a sought, right? It's something that's sought. It's a seeking. It's confirmation. It's looking for something, right?
Okay.
And so validation is like looking for something from someone else
So is it?
to reaffirm a belief, an action, themselves. Like, that's all validation is.
So what you're saying is validation. So humans have purpose already embedded in them. Are you saying that?
No, I will never say that humans have purpose because I'm an adamant believer that life has no purpose.
Well, okay. Would it be okay to say an identity?
No, because you want to detach yourself from the identity. Because if you put on the identity, that's just letting a mask continue to stay on you.
So if there's no purpose or there's no identity, what are they really confirming? Because the way you're
Exactly.
painting
You can't have validation without those. You have to have identity. You have to have purpose. You have to have certain things before you can have validation. Everything that
but where do they come from, Luther?
these masks, these identities.
I mean, the identity, the purpose, because here's okay. Like I said, you're using validation from what I'm hearing as a tool of just confirmation, reassurance. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So I get that. I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to figure out where you're going with it, because what is the foundation of a human? Because, if validation is the tool for is a tool used for
Progress?
confirmation and reassurance, and I mean it could be used for progress, right? Where's the starting line? Because I feel like you can't just run a race and not have a start to it. Where does it come from? Because I feel like everybody has some form of identity. I think you have some form of identity. And I feel like, bro, you do have some type of purpose. But in your journey of enlightenment, are you not trying to figure that out? Because it's like, you are a person. You are a being.
Right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
But you still trying to figure out who you are.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like you gotta start from somewhere.
So you feel like I need to have the validation? Or
I'm not saying you need it.
uh-huh.
I'm just saying, like, I'll say this. I feel like there's a need for a starting line. Because if we're using validation in the sense that you are using it,
uh-huh.
where do we start? You got to have something, right?
So, okay.
Because you said we had to have purpose. We had to have identity.
To have validation, yeah.
So where does the identity and the purpose come from?
Easy. Experiences. Life experiences.
Okay.
You can't have, so, and I guess, an easy answer would be like parents, right? That's typically where a lot of people get their identities, their concepts of life and what they believe is good and bad. And
do you have anything from your parents?
I wholeheartedly agree. I wholeheartedly recognize. And the way I would say, because I was raised by 2 social workers, now 2 therapists.
Okay.
Or social workers / therapists, because
amen,
they were therapists. They became therapists as I was growing up as well.
Okay.
And so, anybody who knows or has been raised by therapists, you're basically a guinea pig. Like, you have all the freedom in the world to hang yourself, good or bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very mind-boggling. Like, it's like, what do you do? What should I do? And you're never given an answer, right? Because it's like a counseling session. It's always like, they're like, well, son, what do you think you should do? So it's like, well, Luther, what do you think you should do? What was the consequences of those actions? And it's kind of like the way they word the questions or the answers that I come to end up becoming the answers to my questions, right? So it's like they throw you into a buffet and they're like, fill your plate. And then if you ate too much and you got sick, well, that was your fault. And we could talk about it, but I'm not going to say it's your fault because you gotta figure that out for yourself, right? So it's like,
that very much. So, well, damn.
And
that explains a lot.
I don't really have like an identity, I guess, but I would say if I was raised in a traditional sense with parents that I felt like are, I guess, typical, then I would have, maybe a need for validation, or I would have had to work harder to dissuade myself from believing in validation, whether that be necessary in my life, right? But because I never really had that direction that was like, go this way.
Yeah.
Like, I tell you this, man, I had a conversation with my mom, in my earlier years of college, and I was like, did you ever think I'd go to college? She was like, we never spoke about it because we assumed you'd go. I was like, yo, what do you mean? You assumed I would go? Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to just decide to take on thousands of dollars of debt for a future that I don't even know is going to happen, right? Like, to me, logically, that didn't make no sense. But I went down that path.
But honestly, I could see, because, like, after talking about what we talking about, not knowing what to do right in life and just... I mean, damn, nigga, it felt like it was drawn out for you, low key.
Like, so that's the crazy thing is, like, I feel like I was probably raised as close to as neutral as a person could be, like, with this limited amount of, I guess, influences. Now, there are some certain tendencies. My parents weren't perfect. They did drop the ball on certain things, and I don't know if they'd admit that, but I'll come on the record and say, yeah, I feel like you dropped the ball on some things.
Yeah.
And maybe good for the good or the good or bad. Maybe those tendencies, you have to find out if those tendencies were bad, right? But I recognize them, and so I do my best to detach myself from it and not let certain influences take a hold of me, because those influences become identities.
Okay.
Which is why you got to let go of those.
Okay.
Because then you'll seek validation, and we already know if you seek validation, how do we know you're a good character of who you should be seeking validation from, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You might be seeking validation from the wrong crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
They do say birds of a feather flock together, and I don't know if your feathers are clean. I know yours are, but I don't know if the people listening.
Yeah, fact.
So,
there we go. I just needed you to tie it back, because listen, would it sound like we was finna go through a whole? I was about to say, this nigga finna bring up the Zen Master and everything. I was about to say, I feel like I can teach a course now. I'm finna come in there. Excuse me. What do you mean by that? I think you should detach yourself from that. Respectfully, like I said, I'm playing. Respectfully, if you are an enlightened individual, I do apologize if that came off as offensive. You feel what I'm saying?
You get offended by that. You're not woke. You're not enlightened.
Yeah, but just, man, it's all about love and respect. But oh my God, I feel like we've been going on for a while.
I'm sorry if my answers took a while.
Nah, that's what I love, man. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, off the record, I like it. You know what I'm saying? We need that type of energy, that synergy.
You asking me all these questions, but what about you? What do you think?
Validation?
Yeah. I mean, you're asking me these big brain questions like, where do you come from? I'm saying identity and constructs like, I and me, and what do you think?
I mean, you know what? I feel like it's like a ball of Play-Doh. So, right, the first piece, but it's a ball of Play-Doh mixed of other things.
But is it left outside? That's what we gotta know. Is the ball of Play-Doh left outside? Or do we
it only dries out when you die. It only dries out when you die. So check this out, right? The first piece, parents, of course, right? Then you got to think about your social groups. Then you got to think about the media that you're consuming, right? So these are all practical levels, right? And then I would say, however, your social groups will be one of the biggest pieces. 'Cause like social groups and religion. But first you still gotta, but with religion, what's special about that one is you have to need that up to get it to a piece to where you can comprehend, right? You can't just put the whole package of religion Play-Doh on you, because I think that's an experience. That's a journey. That's a journey within itself. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you believe in, I feel like you have to get to know that higher being. I think you have to, right? You have to go through that change, whether if you're Buddhism and like you have to learn detachment, right? You said it yourself. That was not easy, right? So even then, you're still needing that piece. You know what I'm saying? Because you said you're still on the journey. You don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You could be a whole different person next day. Yes, you are Luther Harris, but I might not be Luther Harris tomorrow. That's a whole possibility. You know what I mean? And then I think the social group one is because it's like, reason why is because it's not just so much about your friends, right? You encounter mentors, leaders. You know, you may discover that you're a leader yourself, and then you lead individuals. Things about that. And you're still playing with that piece too, in a sense, because, you know, even now, like, right, I'm a leader, but I don't know the final product of my leadership. I'm still under construction. I've come a long way, I'll tell you that. Yeah, you probably didn't want me as your, like, station manager back in 2019. And you like, well, that wasn't even that long ago. Mm-hmm. But I was in another leadership position And I had to handle the highs and lows of that, which helped me become what I am today. But as we were talking about previously, still got a lot of brushing up to do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. Still under construction. But the tidbits of game that I've gotten from leaders like Dr. Howard, DeMario, my pops, my mom, Pastor McDonald, Pastor McCarthy, you know what I'm saying? Joe, may he rest in peace. You know what I mean? All these tidbits of game, even from some homies, you know what I'm saying? I'm putting all those into my social group piece of clay, and I'm still molding it. So it doesn't dry out until you die. And then you got this big ball, and then you set it on the table, and that was you. People can look at your ball of clay and say, you know, I like this piece, but I felt like I would have put this on top and this on bottom. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of gives them a basis of maybe how they want to model their ball of clay. I don't know. But as terms of validation, you know what I mean? Like, validation just comes like, I think you having an identity, you have a purpose within you. Validation, like you said, is just, it's like it's confirmation, right? You just really just trying to look for it, you know. But I will say this, though, for the listeners. Just because you looking for validation doesn't mean you can't be a good judge of what's a decent judge of what's good validation, what's bad validation. Because I feel like there's a very fine line. Whatever your moral compass is, you can easily just align certain decisions with that. Easily. Like, right? I'm not finna learn from a rapist. Right? We both can say rape is bad. Rape is terrible. Rape is terrible.
I agree with you. And I understand the sentiment of not wanting to learn from a rapist.
Now hold on. I see what you're saying, because like a lot of people gonna be like, bro, whoa, he messed with rapists. No. Wisdom, knowledge can come from anybody.
Okay. So you
if that's what now I'm
Yeah.
talking, if we talking about the action,
Oh no.
no, I don't rock with that.
Yeah.
But just because you done something bad doesn't mean you don't have a good piece of advice or you don't have a good piece of knowledge for me.
You just made bad decisions.
You just made bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? But listen,
You need some help.
yeah, I like this, but I'm gonna keep it a stack with you also. I'm being honest. I'm not jumping at your crash courses that you offering. You feel me? Like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not buying your book.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Wisdom and knowledge can come from anybody. But what I'm saying is how your moral compass aligns, easily you can determine where you could get your validation from. Now, but that solely depends on you. And that's what it comes to tying into self-love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, self-love. Self-love, I think a big part of self-love is that people need to realize that you can literally, whatever you want to incorporate within you is solely your choice. You know what I'm saying? Just like how, like, let me say this. A lot of bad is happening to you right now. You getting mishandled. You getting treated bad. Well, then right then and there, you have a choice, right? You can remove that person from your life. Or you can remove yourself from the situation completely. You know, hey, yo, you got it. I can't deal with that no more. I can't handle that no more. Right? You know, a small notion of self-love is that, like, right? A lot of people I hear, especially at our age, man, like, yo, they like, yo, social media is wild. Like, yo, I can't believe some of the stuff people are saying. You don't have to consume that. There's a log out button for a reason. You don't know how many times I done logged out. I log out every week. Hey, yo, I'll get on the app and I'll look and I'm like, yo, I gotta log out.
Dude be clocking out.
Yeah, bro, literally. And sometimes, bro, you need to do that just to quiet your mind. To really to cultivate that peace within you. Whatever it is. Self-love, we always think about the self-love, self-care techniques and, you know, running your nice bath, things of that nature. And that's all fine and dandy. That works. But it's also, man, it's like, you know, not only through activities, but just, you know what I mean, just shutting off the noise, you can cultivate that peace. And that's all really self-love is, cultivating that peace. Giving yourself that space. Giving yourself what you feel like you require. Because a lot of the times, life forces us to go. And the things that we really need, we're not giving ourselves. Whatever that might be. For you, for me, for the man next door. You know what I mean? For the woman downstairs. You know, whatever it may be. I just feel like that's what self-love is.
But that's also a root of validation.
Is it though?
I mean, yeah, you said, you know, looking for something you need. I mean, that's validation, right?
Yeah, it could be. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, yeah. If you flip it on his head, I definitely could see that. Cause I'm thinking about it, cause it's like, obviously, like, I don't know. I think from my perspective, I'm insinuating the self aspect a lot more. So it's like, to me, self-love, in a practical sense, it doesn't involve anybody else. So it's like, to me, I don't think peace is validation to an extent.
So you can't have validation with peace.
You think so? Or are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
You can't have validation with peace?
Mm-hmm. If you are peaceful, you don't have validation. You don't need validation, is the question. If you're peaceful, you don't need validation. Yes or no?
If you're at peace, do you need validation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
So
I think
okay.
Peace, yeah, because you cultivating it within you. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I definitely push that self aspect a little bit more. And I feel like loving yourself is giving yourself peace. Because, like, right, I feel like as we get older, we find out that a lot of this extra shit, excuse my language, y'all, doesn't matter. It doesn't. I feel like a lot of people figured that out through the pandemic. You was sitting there and you was like, I have all this free time on my hand. I can't go to school. I can't go to work. I can't go out to eat. I can't kick it with my friends. I am by myself. I can play the game all day. That gets boring. I can watch movies all day. That gets boring. Right? I can read. You can only read so much. You know what I mean? Because think about it. You only reading the books that you have on hand. The library was shut down.
And the funny thing is, you won't have enough time in life to read all the books.
Literally. So then it's kind of like, well, what then? I feel like, man, most of the time out of my day, I just want to be at peace.
Dang, sounds like you need to meditate.
I do in my own way. I definitely. Hey, look, I ain't gonna disclose, but yeah, I definitely meditate. I be meditating. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I think everybody has their own form of meditation, but it's not meditation. Like it's not
the traditional sense.
Yeah, like right for some kids, you know what I mean. Like, and I think your meditation changes throughout life. Like one form of meditation, I used to go shoot hoops. I used to just lock in and strap up. You know what I mean? Plus, this was like the time Kyrie Irving was still relatively fresh in the league. So was Kawhi Leonard. Paul George was hitting his stride. So I was just locking in. You know what I mean? So I'm just shooting the rock and everything like that. Another form of meditation as I got older from that point was running.
So are these I know you're saying meditation, but wouldn't these just be stress relievers?
No, not in a sense, because I feel like how I use them, I just think. And I come to terms with a lot of stuff.
Oh, so you think meditation is thinking? Is that fair to say? What do you think is meditation?
I think it's a part of it, and I think it's accepting what has played out. And then once you're done with your activity, then you go to planning. And I think that's where the real, like, I think it's more not thinking, but it's more like thinking in a sense, but like recap. Well, I think it is. Because I was about to ask you, is it? But I think it is. I think it's recap. That's me. What's meditation for you?
Sitting in a dark room. Dark room.
Does it have to be dark?
I mean, it doesn't have to. I just prefer it be dark, to be honest.
Is it hot in there?
Where are you going with this?
Yeah,
Is it hot in there? No, it's actually pretty cool.
I just thought, I thought Buddy was in there like it's a Dragon Ball Z scene.
I'm in the chamber.
Yeah, in the chamber. Bro was in there just standing and fire wasn't going. I'm like, bro, what kind of training is that? Oh man,
shoot, that's funny.
But continue, brother.
Oh yeah, sitting in a dark room. I get all my meditation from this app by it's the Guru app, and I just follow the meditations on there.
Okay.
And yeah, one of them is you just sit down. One of them's a chant for like a few minutes, and you sit in silence and you just space out, eyes closed, right? Then the other one's about 16, 17 minutes. You just reiterate 2 thoughts with each passing breath. So you like breathe in, you breathe in, you think to yourself, I'm not this body. You breathe out, I'm not even the mind. Or no, reverse that. You breathe in. Nope, I had it right the first time. Yeah, you breathe in, I'm not this body. You breathe out, I'm not even the mind. You just do that for about 12 minutes, and then the other half is just silence. And so, yeah, you just sit.
How long does it take you?
Oh, it just takes me about 17 minutes. Well, the guided meditation is only about 14, 15 minutes, but I'll sometimes, like, during the silence after the bell rings signaling that the meditation is over, I just sit, eyes closed, spaced out some more, let it sink in. Supposed to do it twice a day, but do it once a day.
Okay.
Sometimes every other day.
And so does it re-energize you?
Yeah, it refocuses in a sense, like you recalibrate. I mean, it's almost like taking a nap. Makes you real sleepy afterwards. You be like,
you just at peace.
I just be like, cannot be disturbed. Like,
okay.
I remember I did it before work. Somebody was like, "Yo, Luther, you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." They were like, "Oh, what do you think's wrong with me?" And they're like, "Oh, nothing. You just look dignified." I'm like, dignified? Like,
is something a bad thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, you look very stoic. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
stoic and dignified. I'd like those two characteristics to be associated with me.
Yeah, I think we all would.
Stoic and dignified.
Mm.
But yeah, you really space out. Or I space out at least. Maybe somebody else might have a different impact, but I space out.
Interesting. You know something? I enjoyed this episode. Because I think two journeys really met each other today. And I think we learned a lot about each other. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was dope. Honestly, once again, brother, thank you for coming on this show.
Anytime, brother. Anytime. I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah,
It's always,
for sure.
My pleasure. And anything I can do to be of service.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. My thing is this, okay? Because I do like to leave people off with a tidbit. Summer's coming up. The semester's almost over.
Mm.
All right. What would you say to somebody going into their summer?
Well, I'll say a quote by Buddha. There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. That's what I'd say.
Okay.
Take it, do what you will with it.
I say there's two roads to it in the summer. 3 months of practically free game. Reason why I say free game is because the summer can be monumental for you, or it can be drastically terrible.
Or it can be neutral.
It could be
Like
neutral.
no progress in life at all.
I mean, that's true. But I think it falls on you what you want to do. You know what I mean? So if you think if whoever you believe in, because I feel like, for all the listeners across the world, whoever you believe in, what path you follow, if it's been telling you to lock in, lock in. But if you feel like you need to release, then release. You know what I'm saying? However, though, you cannot get upset or mad about how you spend your time. You made your bed, you got to lay in it. And with that, I want to say thank you to everybody that has listened to me by myself and then with others for 13 straight episodes. Yo, that's love beyond belief. Thank you for supporting me. This is not a goodbye, but a see you later, because I really wouldn't be the journeyman if I wasn't really experiencing life. So with that being said, I'm a touchdown in the summer, and I'm gonna come back with some new game, and hopefully more guests, more energy, more love, and everything like that. So big shout outs to everybody that's been supporting me, and peace.